509 Edmonton Sports Leader, TSN 1260. Jason Gregor, Connor Halley with you. And we are back up to $3,500 now with Rob on our package today, which includes a foursome of golf at the Spec Classic, which goes 2 weeks from today at the Quarry, all in support of Sports Central. And your foursome, you'll be teeing it up with Carter Hart, the young star goaltender for the Philadelphia Flyers. Also, your foursome on a different evening will then go have dinner at Roos Chris with Ken Holland, the Oilers GM, and Spec, who will be your waiter for the night. Trust me, make him do the work, okay? And maybe he'll even show you how to do a Latvian fire dance. Oof. I'm not sure he has the same hops as he used to, but it used to be a lot of fun at Spec's Deck. So we're up to $3,500 on that, which is great bid. We'd like to get a little bit more because, of course, it's all for Sports Central and to get the kids playing in sports, which is awesome. And we are joined now as we go around the NHL, brought to you by McDonald's, the new Grand Big Mac. Bigger patty, bigger buns, bigger taste. Only at McDonald's, the Grand Big Mac. As our next guest, of course, played for the Fort Saskatchewan Rangers for a year, then the Sherwood Park Flyers, U15, and then, of course, got to, then it was AAA midget for the Sherwood Park Squires and the Kings. Then he went to the WHL for the Everett Silvertips, played for Canada at the World Junior Championships 2 times before he was drafted by the Philadelphia Flyers. We are joined by Carter Hart. Carter, welcome to the show. How you doing?
Hey, good. How are you?
Hey, I'm excellent. And, hey, thanks for offering up your golfing services for our people bidding. How's your golf game right now?
It's all right. We actually just finished playing the Phil Mickelson course in Calgary there with a couple of my buddies and my trainer there. And tough course. It definitely ate me up today. So, yeah, I don't even want to tell you what I shot. So
now it's funny as a professional athlete. Like, I know you guys are wired. You're just competitive. Is that what you love about the game? Is how humbling it can be every day, and you're always searching for that better game?
Oh, for sure. I mean, golf's so hard. I've probably played since I was 10 years old. My dad got me into golf really young, and one day I'll go out and shoot 79, the next day I'll go out and shoot 99. So it's a tough game.
What's the best part of your golf game?
Probably I'd say my driver. My short game struggles a little bit right now, so I'm starting to figure it out of the tee box a little bit better. But yeah, I definitely need to work on my short game.
Okay, well, so for anybody, guys who are bidding on you, when you get into a scramble, how are you as a scramble player?
A lot better than when you're playing best ball, that's for sure.
Well, you can relax a little bit. You're just like, you can bomb it all the time. I like it. A lot of fun. Okay. Carter, let's talk, about your career. You know what? Obviously, you've had a really good start to your NHL career. I know this year didn't go the way you wanted, like a lot of people. How challenging was playing the whole COVID thing from last season's, off-season training? Like, were you able to train the way you normally were last off-season?
Yeah, definitely challenging this year with everything going on. But no, it was tough. Like, we had to move around rinks a lot in the off season. We actually were skating out in Morinville there because it was one of the only rinks that were staying open during the COVID times. They were private, so they could still have a couple guys out there. And that's about an hour drive from Sherwood Park, so it's a bit of a hike, but we were able to make do and got a lot of good work in with Shorty, like my goalie coach here, and my training partner Tristan Jari, and then my strength coach back home here, Phil Daly. We kind of did some home workouts a little bit, and then mixed in a little bit of gym and outside when the weather got nice, and now everything's open, which is really good, especially for small business owners and gyms like Phil's. So it's nice to see things are getting better here and hopefully staying this way.
Pretty unique scenario to have two local guys, both NHL goalies coming up and kind of get to work with one another. And I know a lot of guys that they push one another in a healthy way. How has that off-season training been with Tristan Jari, and how much do you think he helps you, and conversely you help him?
Oh, it's awesome. I mean, he's a great guy. He's at the gym with me, and then we go and skate together. And I mean, he's a great goalie, great guy, awesome to train with. I mean, when you're skating with a guy like that, it's so good to see, like, pick up on some of the little details of his game, and then he kind of picks up on yours. And we just kind of converse over a couple things of our games and learn a little bit from each other. And then with Schwartzy as well, teaching us. We got a great setup here.
Carter Hart joins us on Edmonton Sports Leader TSN 1260, a goaltender for the Philadelphia Flyers. It's a unique situation for goalies because, you know, you have Dustin Schwartz, who works for the Oilers, but he's your personal goalie coach and has been for many times. And then, of course, the Flyers have a goalie coach. How much does Schwartz and your goalie coach, you know, work together and communicate to ensure that it's a consistent message all the time?
Yeah, they're on the same page. Like, they talk, not as much during the season, obviously, but in the off season to kind of make sure that the off-season plans are in conjunction with each other, and they have the same outlook, and but they're on the same page, and they're both great. So I'm really lucky to have them.
Carter, by your standards, you go your 4 years in Everett and then in Philadelphia. You know, you kind of never had to endure a season of your standards that was lower. How tough was last year mentally for you, and how much better do you think it's going to make you? Because so many players talk about, hey, once you deal with adversity, it can make you better if you choose to. What did you learn about yourself this past season? What was the toughest part of having struggles that you really haven't had for 6 or 7 years?
Yeah, I mean, definitely a challenging year on and off the ice with a lot of things going on, obviously with COVID playing a major factor. But one of the toughest parts probably was just being alone and not like, I live alone in Philly. My parents couldn't come down and see me. My friends from back home couldn't come down and see me. And it was tough. And I think you really have to you really have to support your teammates through those times. And I'm lucky that we got a good group of guys in Philly to lean on. And you know what? I probably didn't lean on them as much as I could have in the first half of the season or first couple months. And then towards the end there, before I got injured, we started to play a lot better hockey. We started to find ways to hang out with each other more than just at the rink, because they were kind of telling us not to hang out with each other away from the rink to try and prevent that spread of if somebody did have an outbreak or whatever happens with COVID. But, yeah, like towards the end of the season there, just got to really lean on each other. And I think going into next year, we're all really excited. It's going to be a clean slate. Everything's going to be back to normal, full fans, full capacity. I mean, we got one of the loudest bars in the league. And we're all looking forward to it. And I know that we can't wait for October to come. Carter
Hart joins us on Edmonton Sports Leader, TSN 1260. I think, Carter, I loved your answer there, because I think a lot of people just forget that, you know, hockey players, the team, being on part of the team is one of the greatest parts. Like, obviously you love playing, but it's just that camaraderie. And, you know, whether it's, you know, today you're just golfing with your buddies, and usually you would do that with your teammates, or you're just having dinner or video games or whatever you're doing, just kibitzing, and you didn't get to do any of that. And to never being a part of that ever, because at every other team level, going back to as an 8-year-old, that was always part of sports. Like, I can imagine, like, when you were alone, you know, what were you doing to try to pass the time? Did you pick up reading? You know, what were you doing to try to keep yourself busy or even preoccupied?
I was playing guitar, so I was playing a lot of that. And then just trying to stay in touch with my buddies from back home and FaceTiming them, my family. I actually started going for walks and stuff, and just to try and get outside. And we weren't really supposed to go anywhere, but just to get outside and get fresh air. And I know we weren't supposed to hang out with each other away from the rink a lot, but towards the end there, we definitely were. We were just kind of a little more tired of it, and we were all pretty much vaccinated, so.
Now, I want to get your thoughts, Carter. You've been in the NHL for 3 seasons. You know, you've been able to see some players. What was the biggest kind of wow moment for you in 2018-19? Because you started in the AHL and then you came up to the NHL, and you obviously, you know, in 30 games you had a .917 save percentage. It was excellent. But what was kind of your welcome to the NHL moment that first year?
I'd probably say the first time when I played against Carey Price, who was my favorite goalie growing up, still is my favorite goalie. First time I played against him, I just remember going out on the ice and stretching beside him at the blue line or the red line there, and he tapped me on the pads, wished me good luck, and I was so nervous for that game. And I remember looking down the other end and seeing him in the opposing goal, and I just couldn't believe it. And I ended up getting yanked that night, had a tough night. I was probably focusing on the wrong things, a little bit starstruck, but I thought that was really cool for me. And then the next game we played against Montreal, or I played against Carey, we ended up beating them, so got the better hand there on the last one there. And then obviously in the playoffs too, this last year in the bubble there, playing against him in the first round was so cool, and then even to beat them was so awesome. And he's such a great guy and a great goaltender, and a great role model for a lot of young goaltenders.
Did you watch him and Vasilevsky battle in the playoffs? Or do you watch the Stanley Cup final or even the playoffs, or when you're not in it, you're not watching? Oh
yeah, I watched. Like, they were Price was unreal this whole playoffs. Vasilevsky as well, but I mean, Carey was carrying their team there. Some of those nights, he was making 40 saves, letting in one goal, and just an absolute wall. Like, it was really fun to see and fun to watch. He was outstanding in the finals there in the last couple of games. Just a great goalie duo, great goalie matchup in the finals, and obviously Tampa's got a great team. Vasilevsky played really well, but Price did everything they could, and it was definitely was cheering for those guys. You wanted to see Canadian team win, and obviously for Carey as well, but both those goalies were outstanding this playoffs.
Carter Hart joins us, a goaltender for the Philadelphia Flyers. Carter, can you tell me about Oscar Lindblom and what that was like to see a young teammate, very young man going through cancer, and then for him to come back, and just kind of, what you learned from that, just the human side of it?
Yeah, I mean, for Oscar to go through that at 23 and 24 years old, it was tough for us at first to see, and we didn't know what to expect, but we knew that he was a tough kid, and he persevered. He's got so much courage, and it was just remarkable to see him come back so soon from his battle with Ewing sarcoma. And I mean, he came back and played in the same year. Like, to come back and play in the bubble for games 6 and 7 against the Isles there in round 2 in the 2020 playoffs there was just remarkable. Like, you couldn't put into words when he came out on the ice for that first game back, and then this year too, to have him back in the lineup full time. He's a huge asset to our team. We all love him. We're so lucky to have him, and we're all just so happy that he's back in full health, and he's a great guy to have on our team.
Carter, what's your game plan when you're on the penalty kill against the Washington Capitals and you know that Ovi's firing one-timers? What's the key for success against Ovi's one-timer?
I mean, Ovi likes to just bury his head and rip it as hard as he can, and it works a lot of the time. So, I mean, you know that play's coming. You got to watch it for sure and be aware of where he's at. Even Carlson at the point too likes to rip the 1T also, because he'll get you going where you're kind of cheating towards Ovi, and then they'll fire one quick up to Carlson, and he'll blast it from the point too. But you just have to be ready for it and try and beat the pass and get set and just be ready.
So when guys like Ovechkin or Austin Matthews got a pretty heavy quick shot as well, are you seeing the puck on a lot of times when it's at velocity? Are you kind of going to a spot, knowing and playing the odds? Like, are your eyes that good that you can see the puck when it's going that fast, that quick on one-timers?
Yeah, it just depends on where he's shooting from. I remember one time this year, he got a one-timer, puck squirted out, like, right to the slot. Like, it was like hash marks, top of the hash marks. And he was skating into it, full-on clapper. And I just darted out at him, made myself big, and it hit me in the pad. Like, I'm not seeing that one from that close. No one is.
So, and with all the equipment that you got, where's the spot that, like, do you still get the stingers in the shoulder? Is there any other spot where you're still vulnerable as a goalie?
Yeah, the worst for me is probably like my forearms. Can get some stingers there, especially when Ovi or Weber's ripping it for the 1-2 there. Or right in the ribs, right on the sides, you can get one there. And those kind of sting. But, hey, we play the position. It's nowhere near. The equipment's a lot better than it was 50 years ago, that's for sure.
Yeah, that's fair. Carter, I really appreciate your time. One last one for you. Well, this offseason as a goaltender, what do goalies, is it just technique? What are you looking to improve in your game that you'll work on specifically this offseason?
Yeah, there's always a lot of things in the summer that we look over and look to see what we can improve. I mean, we can always improve our game. No matter what, you're either getting better or you're getting worse. You don't stay the same. So we have a game plan that we haven't set with talking with Schwartzy, setting our summer plan out, and then our goalie coach in Philadelphia as well. We got a good plan set up for what I want to work on and what I want to accomplish this summer. And I mean, just started skating last week, so it's nice to get back on the ice and get into things here in the off-season mode, and just going to be ready for camp here in September, and looking forward to when that comes.
Well, Carter, thanks so much for joining us, and good luck. Thanks for helping out with Sports Central, and you'll be teeing it up. We don't know who's playing with you yet, but the bids are still going in, so we got about a half an hour left. Thanks for that. We're going to raise a lot of money for Sports Central. That's
awesome. Yeah, looking forward to that. It's a great event every year that Mark puts on, and for a great cause, so looking forward to playing it.
Appreciate it. Carter Hart, netminder for the Philadelphia Flyers. Your opportunity. Well-spoken young guys. Got some great stories. Your chance, you can golf with him, a foursome, on the 28th of July in the Specs tournament. I think they call it the Spec now, like they call it the Spec Classic, out at the court. Now, this is sold out. This is the last foursome. We're auctioning off, so you'll a foursome with Carter Hart. Then, on another day, your foursome's having dinner with Ken Holland. It's a great package. And Spec for dinner. He'll be your waiter, by the way. So if you want in on that, Rob has it right now at a pretty good bargain at $3,500. So you can get in at 10-1260 or call Connor at 444-1260. As that was Around the NHL, brought to you by McDonald's. You can download the McDonald's app right to your phone. You get great daily specials only available through the McDonald's app. 5:33, Edmonton Sports Leader, TSN 1260. Well, hey, thanks again for Carter Hart coming on the show. That got people fired up. They're like, listen to him. Jeremy comes in at $4,200. Then came back in Rob at $46. And now Jeremy is back up to $5,000. Boom! I love it. I love it. So we got we go right to about 550, 552. So if you want some more time, you can do it. We are up to 5,000. It's all helping out Sports Central, which is fantastic. You're going to golf with Carter Hart, your foursome, on the 28th of July. That's 2 weeks from today. Oh, by the way, that's free agency day. And there's going to be lots of NHL former, current players, management there. So there'll be everybody having opinions on who this guy got signed there. You'll have a lot of fun. Then on another night, you will have dinner at Ruth's Chris with Ken Holland. Hey, maybe you can ask about the Key trade or any of the other signings or the ones that he thought he would get but didn't get. Probably give you some of those details. So we'll see. Text in at 10-1260 or dial us up at 444-1260. Lots more text flying in at 10-1260. Hey, guys, what do you think the chances are the Oilers get Carter Hart? Yeah, pretty slim. Well, you have a young goaltender like that, and I really loved his honesty. He says, and it's probably, so Carter Hart's come in, and if you look at his career, he's never in the WHL every year great. Comes into the NHL, boom. 917, 914 save percentages. That's pretty, you're talking one or two different saves, right? That's pretty consistent. And then last year, struggled. Well, for a lot of players, I think, because the NHL players, I know this having talked to my nephew, they had tougher regulations than we were. Because you at least, you know what, you could go out. They weren't allowed to go into the grocery store. right? Just to see humans. So you would go to practice, and then you got to remember that you've been wired now for 15 years, however many years, veterans or young guys. When you play hockey, when it's over, you get to kibitz with your teammates. Well, they were in separate rooms. There was videos that was just on video, right? And there was a lot of alone time if you were a young guy like Carter Hart. Now, to his credit, he said, I probably should have leaned on my teammates more, but you don't really know how to handle that situation. And then it just kind of wears on you more. And if you were in fantasy hockey, if there's a guy for a bounce back year, this would be the buy low time. Because guarantee, some people overreact. Oh yeah, look at him, he's going to be terrible. That's where you want to feast on the guy who's going to write off Carter Hart. Because if there was goaltenders that I would be writing up for a bounce back season, he would be near the top of the list. No question about it. No question about it at all. So we'll see how it goes from there. Hey, Greggs, I read your article on the Oilers today. I really like your ideas. Are you just spitballing, or are you hearing some stuff? A little bit of both. Let's be James Neal. I'm pretty certain on that, and I'm not the first one who's broke that story, so I'm definitely not going to take credit that James Neal a buyout is likely for the Edmonton Oilers, because the Oilers, they're in a win now mode. That's something this organization hasn't said for a long time, because they haven't made the playoffs in consecutive years for a decade, right? So, because once you start to make the playoffs every year, then you can consider yourself, okay, you know what? Now we're a playoff team. Now can we become a cup contender? I don't think they're a cup contender yet, but they're moving themselves closer. And there is a short window here that they've got to become a competitive team. No ifs, ands, or buts. They have to. They have to. If you want to re-sign Draisaitl and McDavid, they got to see, hey, now having Darnell Nurse, he'll sign a contract extension, whether it's this summer or during the season or next year, he'll sign an extension, right? Darnell Nurse, of course, is staying in Edmonton. They want him. He likes it here. Sure. So, that could help a little bit, maybe, especially if they're having success, because you know that Nurse and Draisaitl and McDavid are pretty close. And players, I always chuckle that people, McDavid didn't make the playoffs for a few years. Oh, he's going to ask to leave. Loser mentality people are the ones who think that, because they would want to give up when things get tough. So they just project that other people are the same way. It's not going to happen. How many superstars, John Tavares did it, but how many other ones who were top players left their teams? Right? Think about it. In the last 15 years, how many? Some got traded, but how many opted to leave? It doesn't really happen. So I look at McDavid and Draisaitl, and if Edmonton shows, surrounds those players, because they're legit. They're elite. You get guys around them, why wouldn't they want to stay together? Especially if they're having some success, because you want to finish what you start in a lot of these are proud players. They're competitive, but there's pressure on the organization. They got to get that done. And that's why I think the Adam Larson signing is very important for this team, because there's not any free agents out there that I see that can replace what he brings. Now, if Jamie Alexak got to market, he can play the right side. He's not a right, but he can do it. But I'm not sure I don't think he'll get to free agency. Jake McCabe's a lefty, but he's also an American. Unlikely he's coming. There's really not anyone else to play that's tough minute role. So you might have to pay Larson a little bit more than you wanted to. Might have to. I'd pay him a little bit more as long as I don't have to go longer in term, because term is what crushes you. And, if you're Adam Larson, you say, I'll sign 4 years, because if we're not competitive by then, Draisaitl's leaving, so am I. Right? Those are things to think about. 4 years is a long time in the grand scheme of things, but it also can go by pretty quick. And they're in win now situation, so that's why I think the Neal buyout's coming. The one that did surprise me, because I just heard this in the last few days, is just some whispers that there are teams, potentially interested in a Koskinen deal. How that would look, I don't know. I have no idea. I'm just saying I don't think it's far-fetched. A buyout I never thought was realistic for Koskinen, even though I can see. Now, granted, I like guys who score goals. James Neal still has 24 goals in 84 games. I think he'll get bought out, and I think he'll sign somewhere for $1.5 million, and you watch him score 15 to 18 goals somewhere else. Watch, because the guy knows how to score goals. He just does. We're up to 52-50 now from Rob. 52-50. I love it. We'll take a quick break. We'll actually 444-1260. 444-1260. We'll play Eagle Rock Trivia when we return on the Jason Gregor Show on Edmonton Sports Leader, TSN 1260. 2 rounds of golf for you to tee it up at Eagle Rock Monday to Friday. Of course, is playing tough right now, a little quick. Good challenge for you. And the Smokies are good. Everybody keeps texting me who wins. Greg's, you were right. Hey, trust me, I don't lie about food, okay? Okay? I don't make, that's not something to joke about. It's like the Big Turk. You never joke about it. It's so good. But the Smoky, well, it's not Big Turk good, but it's pretty damn good. At the turn, EagleRockGolf.com is where you can book your tee times today. All right, we'll go to Glenn. Glenn, good afternoon. How you doing?
Good afternoon. Good.
All right, Glenn, we just had Carter Hart on the program, of course, drafted by the Philadelphia Flyers, and looking to be a pretty good pick for the Flyers. So can you name one of the 2 players they drafted before Hart that year in 2016?
No, I can't.
All right. Thanks for playing. Here before 1260. So Carter Hart was taken 48th overall. The Flyers had 2 picks taken before him. That haven't been as good. We go to Ryan. Ryan, do you know the answer?
Probably not, but I was going to say Konecny.
Konecny. Nope. Oh, that would have been a good pick. No. Konecny was the sorry to bring it up, Oiler fans, but that was the 2015 draft. Yikes. Could have taken him instead of trading Griffin Reinhart. Nick, do you know the first or early second round of the Flyers took before they selected Carter Hart?
Rubzov, I think, from Russia. German Rubzov.
Rubzov, good guess, my man. It's indeed German Rubzov, who has played 4 games in the National Hockey League. But, man, you go down the list of 2016, and once you get past, like, the top 10, well, Charlie McAvoy's a legit pick. But, man, you get past, like, the top 16 picks there, and, whew, there's a lot of teams like, man, we let Carter Hart go, and the Flyers let him go twice before they took him. So getting a star goaltender like that, man, that could pan out to be a huge pick later on for the Philadelphia Flyers. Congratulations. Stay on the line. Connor will get all your info, and you're going to be teeing it up at Eagle Rock.
Thank you very much.
There you go. It's that easy. Yeah, like you look at those picks, man, and Kiefer Bellows, Julian Gauthier, German Rubstov, Henrik Borgstrom, Riley Tuff, Tage Thompson, Brett Howden, Lucas Johansson. Now, Howden's at least played 178 games in the NHL. Local boy Sam Steele played 129. But then you've got Korshkov, Benson, Asplund, Andrew Peak, Pascal LeBerge, who the Flyers took at 36. Libor Hayek, 37. Masherin, 38th. DeBrincat, really good pick at 39. Cameron Morrison, Nathan Bastian, Jonathan Deline, Yanni Kukkonen, Boris Kachuk, Chad Chris, Giovanni Smith, Sammy Girard, good pick right before him at 47. Like you look at 47, 48, and 49, Ryan Lindgren. He's turned out to be a pretty good pick as well. Those 3 have worked out quite well. But, man, Dylan Dubé, good pick at 56 for the Calgary Flames as well. Dylan Gambrell, 60th for San Jose. So, hey, Gregor, don't you know the 2015 is never to be discussed? Well, but that's Connor McDavid. How can you not discuss it? Also got Ethan Bear out of that draft, and you had Caleb Jones. Got you Duncan Keith. Could you imagine had the Oilers just not traded those picks? I don't even know if they would have hit automatically on the second rounder. You don't know. They would have had to trade up to get Beaulivier there. But there were so many players you could have taken at 6. And seriously, I've always talked about, like, that trade completely transformed the Islanders' path and the Edmonton Oilers' path. Look at it. Beauvillier, and Barzal. If they don't make that trade, look where the Islanders are at. Nowhere. And the Oilers, where could they possibly be? So, we'll see. Connor's working the phones. I know their last bid was at $52.50 for the big package of golf with Carter Hart and then dinner with Ken Holland, all in support of Sports Central. So if you want in, you can text in at 10-12-60 or call Cons. I think he's just working it up right now. Hey, guys, do you think it's possible the Oilers could trade for Stamkos? Keep hearing he might be available. I don't think so. right? I know there's been some discussion that his name was out there. They've gone back to back. Steven Stamkos has an Omuma clause. I would be surprised, right? And what does Edmonton have to offer? Now, obviously, it would just be futures and stuff, but I like Steven Stamkos. I like him a lot, but I'm not sure he's the answer for where the Oilers are, because they're going to have to give up a lot of younger prospects and picks to get Steven Stamkos, who he's had some injury issues the last few seasons. I like him. He's got a pretty big cap hit. As good of a player as, I'm not sure that fits in. Like, Edmonton can't bring another guy in and just have one big, massive contract because they got so many holes. I don't think that works for them. So, not sure if it's the right time. Cons, do we have a winner?
Yeah, Rob going up to 5,500. I've got him on the line, so I'm going to grab his info. Rob, I know you can hear me, but what a bid.
Congratulations, Robbie. We love it. Thanks for everybody who bid. We appreciate it. 5,500 for Sports Central. That's awesome. It'll help out a lot of kids get playing sports. So feel good about yourself, Robbie. Have a great day. And we'll talk to you afterwards. Once Holland gives you all the inside scoop, you can tell us. That'll be great. On behalf of Connor Halley, I'm Jason Gregor. If you missed any interviews, go to jasongregor.com. They're there, or you can go to the podcast at tsn1260.ca. Let's get to Connor with a Sports Center update brought to you by Poly Level Alberta. Are you tired of sealing that concrete driveway year after year? Well, they have their one-time exclusive application product, Sealant Pro. Get it now, polylevelalberta.com. You won't regret it. Have a great night.